hello, hello. Callum Farmer, that is my name. We are live. Are we live? We may be live. Hello. Still loading. 1, 2. 1, 2. We cool? Cool. One, two, 1, 2. Yeah. I think. So, how much? Ah, there we go. I can't, I'm not, because D1's not having it.
D1's not got it.
1, 2, 1, 2. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's Students' Union Elections Question and Answer Session 2013. It's the first one, and we're at Ked Road. My name is James Beckett, and I'm the chair of the Elections Monitoring Committee, and also your Student Union President. In a moment, I will begin to call up candidates running for the positions of officers trustees, part-time officers, representative positions, and also NUS delegates. Just for note, all Q&As are being streamed live this year and will be available for download after each session. Voting is now officially open and will remain open until 12 p.m. on Tuesday the 5th of March. As students of the University of Derby and members of the Students' Union, you're entitled to cast your vote and decide who you'd like to see lead your union throughout the next academic year and represent you to the university. The following question and answer session is here to offer further insight into what the candidates running these elections are able to offer you and provide clarification of what they intend to do should their election campaign prove successful. Voting this year is counted through the single transferable vote, which is shortened for STV, method, while online voting taking place on Udo. So you can log into Udo and cast your votes there. Also, over in Leek College, we are conducting a paper ballot this year. This method of voting, such as the online method, is the one preferred by most unions, as it also allows you to audit and vote of your preferred candidate. All of the candidates' manifestos can be found on both the union's website, which is udsu.co.uk, as well as also in the soon-to-be-released issues of Dusted, your student magazine. So when you get a chance, please pick up a copy, grab a cup of coffee, and spend some time overlooking some of the pledges and promises what candidates are proposing. Only by looking over these important documents will you gain the valuable information required to help you make a decision over who you are going to choose and vote for. What is really important is that you do not waste your right to vote in these elections. Please engage in the process and encourage others around you to do the same. As a democratic and membership-led organisation, your Students' Union relies on the passion demonstrated by you all here today in order to progress each year. Before we get started, I would like to introduce the Glee Society to perform 2 songs. So if the Glee, do you want to come along? Can I have a round of applause for the Glee?
you're supposed to be this side of me. On that side of me.
Hi guys, we're the University of Derby Glee Club and this is We Are Young. Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting higher than the Empire State. My lover, she is waiting for me just across the bar. My seat's been taken by some sunglasses, asking about a scar. And I know I gave it to you months ago. I know you're trying to forget, but between drinks and subtle things, so holds my apologies.
You know, I'm trying hard to take it back. So if by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home tonight.
Now I know that I'm not all that you got. I guess that I just thought that we could find a ways to fall apart. Your friends and I, so much praise and trust. Think about someone to carry me home tonight. We are young, so let's set the world on fire. Is on my side. I have no reason to run, so someone's come and carry me home tonight. It's never arrived, but I can hear the choir. So someone come and carry me home tonight. We are young, so let's set the world on fire. Burn brighter than the sun. We are young. We are young. So let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun.
So if by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home tonight.
Thanks guys. Our next song is She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5 and we're performing again at 12 and then 2, is it? Okay. So that.
Beauty queen of only 18, she had some trouble with herself. He was always there to help her, she always belonged to someone else. I drove 4 miles miles and miles and wound up at your door. I've had you so many times, but somehow I want more. Yeah. I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with a broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and she will be loved, and she will be loved.
Tap on my window, knock on my door. I wanna make you feel beautiful. I know I tend to get so insecure. Doesn't matter anymore. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. It's compromise and moves us along. Yeah, my heart is full and my door's always open. You call anytime you want.
I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with a broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and she will be loved, and she will be loved, and she will be loved, and she will be loved.
I know where you hide, alone in your car. Know all of the things that make you who you are.
I know that goodbye means nothing at all. Comes back and begs me to catch her every time she falls. Yeah. Tap on my window, knock on my door. I wanna make you feel beautiful.
I don't mind spending every day
Every day.
on the corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with a broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and she will be loved, 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 and she will be loved.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Glee Club. The Glee Club Society here at the University of Derby. Good morning. Hello, my name's Callum Farmer. Welcome to the first Q&A.
Give it up for the Glee Society. What a great performance. Thank you, guys.
First election
so much.
Q&A here at Ked Road. And we now head over to our chair of the EMC, president of the UDSU,
Before I begin,
James Beckett.
I would like to remind everyone that each of the candidates is a fellow student of your university. And you should be immensely proud of each person for showing drive and determination.
So James is currently
in wanting
talking
to
how the
affect
elections
change
work. Hello.
in Derby and its
We are
social
live
capital,
from the atrium here at
buildings
Kedleston
and
Road.
sites. You may not agree with their promises or pledges.
So this is the
collectively,
first Q&A
they
of
have
the
all been
2013
prepared to
UDSU
step forward
elections.
and stand up on your behalf to ensure that students of Derby continue to have a positive student
The Glee Club will
experience.
also be back later on this morning
For many
and this
candidates,
afternoon, as we're
this will
expecting
be
to
their
run till
first
about
experience of
1:30 this afternoon.
And so I would ask that you are mindful of this. Please show your support by being respectful and mindful of this. Candidates, there will be a time limit for each of your responses to the questions, and you will be cut off after this time. A staff member will hold up a card to notify you of the 30 seconds remaining. There's the example one. Yeah. So you're able to manage your time effectively. I would also like to remind candidates that they are to remain within the Q&A session for entire duration out of courtesy For your fellow candidates, if you have to go to lectures, we understand that. That's fine. And you're allowed to go to the toilet. That's fine. Okay? So without further ado, I would like to welcome up the candidates running for NUS delegates to the stage, please.
So our first Q&A session here are the candidates running for NUS delegates. I'll run through a list of those running for NUS delegates. This includes Leanne, Students United Crooks,
Cozy,
Students United Dean, Mark Farthing, Matthew, Students United James, Jess, Development McDonald, Holly, and Hayley, Students United Wood. This is the candidates for NUS delegates.
Okay, so to start off, you will each candidate have 1 minute to introduce yourselves and outline your pledges. I will start with Chris.
Yes, my name's Chris. I'm running for NUS delegate. Basically, if you elect me as NUS delegate, I'll make sure that you are represented at NUS conference. Your visions, your says, your opinions are listened to, they are heard, they are represented, and everything that you guys want from NUS, we'll do whatever we can to make sure that happens.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll move over now to Hayley.
Hi, I'm Hayley. I've been a mature student here at Derby, so I think I've had a different experience to some people, and I'd like to take those experiences and the experiences of the people I know to NUS and bring back some of the ideas that some of the other universities have got as well, just so we can improve as a university.
Thank you, Hayley. And now Holly.
Hey everyone, I'm Holly and I'm standing for NUS delegate because this year it is more important than ever to represent Derby on a national stage. UDSU's VP Academic Affairs Dom Anderson is standing to be the National Vice President for Society and Citizenship. What better way to represent Derby students than campaign for Dom and help get him elected? If elected for NUS delegate, I will consult on policy motions with Derby students, and when I vote, do it with Derby students in mind. I will also feed back to you after conference so you know what your vote has achieved. So don't be a Wally and vote for Holly, number 1 NUS delegate.
Thank you, Holly. And now Jess.
Hi everybody, I'm Jess MacDonald, your current VP Student Development. I've been elected into this position for the past 2 academic years, and I've also attended 2 national conferences already. This would be my 3rd. I'm also an elected representative on NASFA, which is the National Student Fundraising Association, and I've already put Derby on the map by having Derby Rag raise £24,000 last academic year, and I feed into this mechanism on a national scale. I'm also potentially standing for a current role within NUS, which is called Block of 15. However, that wouldn't be my priority. My priority would be you guys making sure that you're represented on a national scale within the policy. I've also spoken at conference before about including everybody in the debate, and this is something that I would continue to do next year if you elect me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jess. And now Leanne.
Hi, I'm Leanne Crooks. This is my 4th year here at Derby Uni, so I think that the time I've been here at university has given me quite a lot of experience as to how other students want to be represented, and I think that I want I want to try and represent Derby students on a national scale.
30 seconds.
Sorry. So yeah, please elect me NUS delegate number 1, please.
Thank you for that, Leanne. And now Mark, please.
Hi guys, my name is Mark. I'm running for NUS delegate for one reason, and that's to support Dom Anderson, who is running for a national position. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And finally, Matthew.
Hi guys, I'm Matthew James. I'm running for NUS delegate, and like you to vote me number 1 so that I can represent you guys at a national level and make sure that Derby's voice is heard on the bigger platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Question to you guys is, what do you feel are the national issues currently being faced by students, and how can conference affect change within the student movement? Okay, so I'll repeat the question. What do you feel are the national issues currently being faced by students, and how can conference affect change within the student movement? You have 2 minutes each, and I'm going to start with Mark, please.
Okay, so the obvious issue is the increase in fees, which was brought in this year. The NUS are doing a lot of positive work on how we can grow as a nation in terms of what we're doing in education, and you'll hear a word bandied around a bit, which is tertiary education. So it'd be interesting to see how the next crop of representatives who we elect at National Conference take tertiary education, and it's up to us as NUS delegates to decide on who is the most appropriate candidates to take the country forward. So that's why I want to go. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. And next up, Leanne.
I think the most important factor, especially this year, has been the intake of students, because there's been a dramatic decrease in the intake of students this year, particularly probably due to the fees. And I think that something that NUS could do that I definitely want to look for in conferences, increasing the I can't think of the word, sort of the status of university and going to university as a positive thing. So that's definitely something I want to be looking to do.
Thank you, Leanne. And next, Holly.
I think, as Mark said, obviously fees are a massive issue this year. This is the first year where the rise in tuition fees has been in place, and obviously that is affecting students nationally. However, a lesser issue I feel that is affecting students just as much, though, is liberation. Liberation groups, engage in liberation groups within students' unions, because student unions are so important and they really do engage liberation groups, and I think it would be so good to go to national conference and vote for policy, etc. And also, on the second day of national conference, that's where the leadership for the next academic year for NUS is voted on. So similar to what the full-time and part-time position voters candidates are standing for in Derby, on the second day the full-time positions are elected and voted on, and I would vote for these candidates with Derby students in mind, and vote for the promises that they are giving to me with Derby students in mind, because I think it's so important. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. And next, Matthew.
Yeah, I think that it's a bit of a recurring theme here, but I think the main issue is the rise in fees and education cuts, especially this year with the first years this year having to pay the higher rate fees. I think it's important that we make sure that students are getting value for money and they feel that they're getting exactly what they pay for. So we need to be going to national conference and feeding back our views here from Derby, and also coming back from national conference and feeding back what everybody else is thinking at conference. So that's why I think that conference is very important. So yeah.
Thank you, Matthew. And next up, Hayley, please.
I feel that accessibility to university is quite an issue for them at the moment, because of a combination of all the issues that everyone's already mentioned. Obviously the rising tuition fees. There's people from disadvantaged backgrounds who are not aware or not in a situation to be able to come to university. There's the international students. We should be campaigning to make all these people have access to the education that they deserve.
Thank you, Hayley. And Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to go down the line of the tuition fees again. I feel that tuition fee rises have been definitely major forefront of the problems at getting people to university. A lot of people haven't come to university. It's been showed with a decrease in people turning up. It's also, with the rise in tuition fees, universities are getting less money, which means services are being cut, things are suffering, and at the end of the day, if universities, which quite a lot of universities are, referring to our students as customers and consumers, we're actually paying more for less. So in theory, we should actually be getting more for our money if we are paying more tuition fees. I think that's the main thing that NUS needs to be campaigning for, is to sort something out along with the tuition fee rise.
Thank you for that, Chris. And then finally, Jess.
Okay, we have a massive problem at the moment. We are not being taken seriously by society, by the government or by NUS. They need to start listening to what students want and communicating better with what they are achieving. NUS is quite a great body. They do quite a lot of things on a national scale that improve the lives of both further education and higher education students. But that's not being fed back to you. There needs to be a better link of communication through officers such as ourselves. NUS is more than just a student discount card, but the money that we put into them needs to be generating services for you. That is the main problem in my eyes, and it's about getting the different newspapers, different government bodies and the national media to finally accept that actually we are the future. We're the future of doctors, of nurses, of lawyers, of healthcare providers, and without education then there's not going to be a future for us and for our children. That is the strongest fight that I think we need to be taking to the National Union of Students and making sure they acknowledge us and each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. That formally concludes the questions for candidates running for NUS delegates. So can I have a round of applause for the NUS delegate candidates?
You are listening to the UDSU elections coverage here on D1. We've just heard the first rounds of question and answers for candidates for NUS delegates, which included
Next, can I welcome to the stage candidates running for Union Council Chair and Democracy Officer, please?
Matthew Students United James Jass,
Chris,
Development McDonald,
Holly
for this one, and Hayley Students United Wood. They were candidates for NUS delegate.
Great save there.
On the stage now is candidates for Union Council Chair and candidates for Democracy Officer. The candidate for Union Council Chair is
firstly, I will give you 1 minute to introduce yourselves and outline your pledges. I will start off with Chris.
And Democracy.
My name's Chris, once again. I'm actually running for Union Council Chair. Basically, if you elect me Union Council Chair, I want to make it more fun, more entertaining. I'm aiming to try and get a much more bigger participation. Also look into why people aren't coming to Union Council as well. Is it just because it's a bit boring, a bit mundane, or is it just because they can't be bothered, or is it the location? We could even look at possibly maybe trying to move Union Council to a different campus,
30 seconds.
Something along them lines. So yeah, elect me Union Council Chair and we'll make it a bit more fun, entertaining, but we'll keep all that structure there as well.
And your candidate for Democracy Officer, Martin, Students United, Baby.
And Martin.
My name's Martin. I'm a second-year student studying sociology, and my pledges basically are to increase the involvement of every single student in the democratic process of this uni, support grassroots campaigns to change things, to help students see changes that they wish to see, and help promote more democracy days so people are engaging in the democratic processes in the wider community as well.
30 seconds. Thank you. My next question, which is for the Democracy Officer. What can you do to ensure that the Students' Union continues to engage more students within its democratic structures? I'll repeat the question. What can you do to ensure that the Students' Union continues to engage more students within its democratic structures? You have 2 minutes.
Well, I want to increase the visibility of people within the uni. To help engage the students, I'll set up a democracy drop-in session to help students with questions, answers, concerns, and to help build their campaigns to take them to Union Council, if possible.
Okay, thank you for that, Martin. And next question to Union Council Chair. How would you improve Union Council to increase engagement from our members? I'll repeat the question. How would you improve Union Council to increase engagement from our members? You have 2 minutes.
I've got a couple of ideas which I want to try and roll out if you elect me as Union Council Chair, just to try and improve it, get some more members. Obviously what I said in my opening speech about looking into why people currently aren't turning up to Union Council, why we have a lower turnout than we could do, and in what I say we should do. So I want to make it a bit more fun, entertaining, maybe even run some silly little mini games in it just for a bit of a laugh and a giggle. Make sure that people also know what's happening in Union Council, because quite a few people might turn up and they might not know what's going on. Like maybe even like a Union Council handbook, just so that people can know what's going on. Make sure that we get out there and we actually really promote it with things like democracy days. Make sure that I'm present at Democracy Day promoting Union Council, AGMs, what we're doing, what happens, and mainly just trying to make it more fun, entertaining and accessible as well at the end of the day, but making sure that there is the structure in there and that everything is adhered to the way it should be.
Thank you, Chris. That concludes the questions for candidates running for Union Council Chair and Democracy Officer. Can we give them a round of applause, please?
So you are live here on D1, welcome. You are listening or watching the first Q&A session here from Ked Road in the UDSU elections 2013.
Can I next welcome up candidates running for Inclusive Sports Officer and also the Media Officer roles.
Hey Callum, how's it going?
Hi James. James has joined me, we are live here.
It's going well so far.
So currently approaching the stage is Samantha Rose, the candidate for Media Officer. And Lauren Spud Daly, the candidate for Inclusive Sports Officer. They're going to introduce themselves. And then they'll be asked some questions by the EMC Chair, James Beckett.
Well,
we're doing this all week, aren't we, Callum?
We are.
So all the question and answer sessions across all the sites.
Okay, so firstly, can you please introduce yourself and the position you're running for and outline your pledges? You have 1 minute each, and I'll start with Lauren.
Hi, my name's Lauren Daly. I'm running for Inclusive Sports Officer, and I want to get more people involved in sport because at my time at Derby, I've been here for 2 years, and sport has been like quite a big part of my university life. So I want to get everyone else involved, make sure there's opportunities for everyone, not only like people like myself who've been doing it since I was a kid, but for people that maybe just want to stay fit and just take part.
30 seconds.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Lauren. And next, Samantha.
Hi guys, I'm running for Media Officer this year, which I believe is the first year it's being run. I'm a first year doing community and youth work, so a lot of you will be wondering why I'm doing media, but I'm part of D1, which is our radio station at the back. My aim is to get more participation in Dusted and with D1 in all of the other campuses, so Leek College, Buxton, so on and so forth. I also want to try and get sponsorship for D1 this year and have just generally a higher
30 seconds.
Participation and knowledge of what we do.
Thank you, Samantha. The first question I'm going to pose is to the Media Officer role. As this is a new role, how would you improve the current media services whilst also raising awareness of these services? So I repeat the question. As this is a new role, how would you improve the current media services whilst also raising awareness of these services? Okay, you have 2 minutes.
Okay, so I would make people more aware by more advertising, more marketing of all of the services available. So with Dusted and D1, I would like to have D1 played at more campuses, because I know it's currently being played in Artican and Keddies, but I would like it played at Britt Mill and at Buxton College as well. I would also like to have Dusted, a little bit more participation in Dusted with the further education students and from different campuses, and try and just generally make people more aware that there is a media out there for this university and that they can all get involved.
Thank you, Samantha. And the next question is for the Inclusive Sports Officer. What are the main barriers for engagement in sports at Derby, and how would you address these? Okay, so what are the main barriers for engagement in sports at Derby, and how would you address these? You have 2 minutes.
I think some of the main barriers at the moment, like we've got a campaign for inclusive sport, for LGBT students. I think a lot of it is just fear of maybe being bullied or just not feeling welcome within sports clubs. So I think we need to make sure like we support the current inclusion campaign and make more students aware of that, and just make sure people don't feel afraid to join in if it's something they're not used to doing. Then I think we need to be more welcoming, and yeah, thank you. Oh dear God.
Thank you, Lauren. That concludes the questions for candidates running for Media Officer and Inclusive Sports Officer. Can you give them a round of applause, please?
There we go. That was the candidates for Inclusive Sports Officer and Media Officer. You're listening to D1 live
Next,
from
can I
Kedleston
welcome to
Road.
the stage the candidates running for Recreation and Healthy Living Officer, please.
So
hopefully we're not distorted anymore, by the way. We've adjusted ourselves a little bit.
Yes. So the candidates approaching the stage now is Recreational and Healthy Living Officer. They're the candidates for that. And the candidates are Chris Lovett and Cassie McKinley.
Just a reminder, if you want to find out more about elections and also vote, you can head to udsu.co.uk/elections. Voting is now open. If you log into UDO, you can vote now.
You have 1 minute to introduce yourself and outline your pledges. Okay, I'll start with Cassie, please.
Hi, my name's Cassie. I'm a second-year biology student here at Derby. Running for Recreation and Healthy Living Officer, I would encourage people to start up new sport groups, new societies, all sorts of groups, and I also want to bring in a range of cheap, healthy snacks, because at the moment here at the university, it is so much cheaper for you to eat rubbish than it is to eat healthy, and that needs to change.
Thank you, Cassie. And next, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris Lovett. I'm running for the Recreational Healthy Living Officer. I just want to make you all aware of the opportunities the University of Derby has for the intramural sport programmes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And the question I'm going to face to you guys is, can you name 3 ways in which the UDSU could improve the health and fitness of our members within Derby? So can you name 3 ways in which the UDSU could improve the health and fitness of our members within Derby? You have 2 minutes, and I'll start off with Chris.
So the university could create more awareness for people at the university to take part in the sport that the intramural programmes have on offer. At Freshers' Fair we could get people to sign up to the programmes so they're taking part in the intramural programmes, and I could create a Facebook group so if anyone has any queries of the intramural programmes they can get in touch via that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And finally, Cassie.
Well, as I've already mentioned, the healthy food here isn't ideal. There's not that much point getting everybody to run around on a field if they're going to be eating burgers and junk food when they're finished. So a cheaper range of healthy snacks is definitely in need of being introduced. Also, as I mentioned before, we need more sport teams. We need a larger variety of them because, let's face it, some people are more sportily able than others. I'm not the most gifted in the sport areas. However, I do enjoy playing, and there are sports out there for everyone, so we need to make sure that the university offers them for you. And also, yes, like you said, awareness. We need to keep up the awareness. We need to, a lot more going on in the Freshers' Fairs, make it bigger, make it louder, make sure everybody knows about it.
Thank you, Cassie. That concludes the questions for candidates running for Recreation and Healthy Living Officer. Can we please give them a round of applause?
So that were the candidates for the Recreational and Healthy Living Officer. Welcome to D1. This is the Kedleston Road Q&As for elections 2013.
Next, may I introduce candidates running for International Students Officer to the stage, please.
So the candidates running for International Students Officer is Razman and Anro the Right Choice Schroeder.
Okay, you can see a running theme here. Can you please introduce yourself and give an outline of your pledges? You have 1 minute.
Hi guys, my name is Anro and I am the current International Student Officer, rerunning for this position. At the university we have got 1,700 international students from over 100 countries. We are ranked one of the top 3 universities for international student satisfaction, and our ISC, International Student Centre, is the best in the country. All of this needs proper representation. I have been in office for 1 term, I love my job, and I do think I'm good at it, yes.
30 seconds.
I believe in a face-to-face approach with international students, get them more involved with the International Student Society. It's a great society, fantastic committee and president, and also get students more involved with societies in general and sport. Those are my main goals.
Thank you, Anro.
Yeah.
And the question I'm going to face is, why is international engagement with the Students' Union so low, and how would you look to combat this? Okay? So why is international engagement with the Students' Union so low, and how would you look to combat this? You have 2 minutes.
As an international student, coming to a new country, new people, everything is different. Yes, it is scary, I know this. So you tend to be withdrawn, and I think a lot of our international students are withdrawn. They don't feel confident in coming forward. I do believe a way to approach this, as I said earlier, was a face-to-face approach with international students. Get them to know who their international officer is, and me getting to know them on a personal level. I feel that would bring our communication with the SU and the international student body, it would make it way better. Along with that as well, the International Student Society, get them more involved with that. If international students have a group, a body that they can associate themselves with, their confidence would increase, and I think their communication with the SU would be a lot better.
Thank you, Anro.
Can't get this water open.
That concludes the questions for candidates running for International Students Officer.
So once again, the candidates for International Students Officer is Razman and Anro with the right choice Schroeder.
Next, I'm going to talk about the referendum question, what is in these elections. In these elections, you might notice that on the ballot forms there's a referendum question. What this referendum question is to get a stance by the union about what the student body, or in a way from the student body, what stance they want the students' union to take within a particular issue. The question being posed in these elections is, wherever possible, would you like your assessment to be marked anonymously? Okay, so the question we're asking for a stance is, wherever possible, would you like your assessments to be marked anonymously? Anonymous marking is a term used when a lecturer marks the work of a student without prior knowledge of whose work they are marking. This would not be possible for some pieces of work, such as artistic pieces, independent studies, and other reflective pieces. What we do now is, because there's no candidates actually running for the referendum question, we open it up to the floor for a for and against. Do we have any people who would like to speak on behalf of the for or against this referendum question? Jess, okay, we've got 1 for. Yep, come up to the stage. And 1, is that against? And is it against, is it? Yeah, so please come to the stage. Okay, what it is, I will give you 2 minutes to speak either in for or against the referendum question. I will start with the for. So Jess, you have 2 minutes.
Okay, so those of you who may or may not know, what we're doing at the moment is trying to gauge student feedback on whether or not the university should introduce anonymous marking. Now, there are a lot of questions around anonymous marking, mainly from those on creative different pathways. I was a creative writing student, and I can fully appreciate how it might not always be possible to try and get completely anonymous marking. However, the university has a system in place where they can completely randomise the different papers that come through, and also make sure that you don't have any student numbers on your pieces of paper. It's a digital system, and it's something that they can introduce literally with the click of a button. It's only going to be where applicable. So if you are on a fine art degree and you don't think that it would be possible for them to mark your work because you've worked with the lecturer, then it's just literally in all different cases where it's applicable. So if you do want to have a bit of feedback into anonymous marking, it's just as you would vote for any other candidate. So you go onto the elections page and you can vote either for or against anonymous marking. As I've said already, it's something so we can feed back to the university management and say the university students either are against this or for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jess. And Sam, you have 2 minutes for the against anonymous marking.
So, anonymous marking is a great thing, but to play devil's advocate here, it might not actually be cost effective. I mean, we used to have anonymous marking with all the stuff that we'd hand in, but now when we move to turn it in, which is, it's better for the university, it's better for us, and it's better for the environment to do it digitally, but because the system itself is, rolled out across various different universities and institutions like that, there isn't actually the ability in there to do it anonymously. If we were to ask the university to do that, they would end up having to either getting a bespoke system done or modifying the existing one, which is going to cost money. And with all the budget cuts going on at the moment, it might be more important to focus on a different area when it comes to finances. I'm not going to ask you to vote against it, but I am saying just have a think about it because it is a really important topic.
Thank you, Sam.
What to do anonymously?
So in a way, that's the for and against arguments of the referendum question, which is, wherever possible, would you like your assessments to be marked anonymously? Thank you, guys. Can I now welcome back Glee, the society, to do another performance?
So that marks a break in our proceedings here in the atrium. So whilst the Glee Club set up,
hi Callum,
I'd like to welcome back James. I can't hear you, James.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So that's our first sort of halfway through our Q&A sessions. We still have the Vice President's question and answer sessions to come, including the candidates for President, AU President, VP Academic Affairs, VP Student Development, and VP Welfare and Student Rights.
So voting is now open from 10 a.m. this morning, actually. You can vote online if you go to Udo, log in. Normally there'll be a big banner you can click, I believe. Voting closes at 12 noon on the 5th of March. So that's
next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yeah.
Next Tuesday lunchtime voting closes.
You can only vote once for each position. You cannot change your vote after you've voted, so make sure you've considered your options carefully before casting your vote.
There you go. So you've just got to log into Udo. There'll be a banner on Udo.
Udo or Udo?
Udo.
Udo?
I call it Udo.
Whatever.
We're not going to have this debate, are we?
The Glee Club are playing soon.
No, the Glee Club are getting ready. I think they're going to be performing 2 tracks for us. You're listening to D1, your student radio station. And for 1 week only, your student TV station. Because we're broadcasting the visuals as well.
Hi, we're the University Derby Glee Club, and this is Lego House by Ed Sheeran.
Here comes the Glee Club with Lego House.
I'm gonna pick up the pieces and build a Lego house. If things go wrong, we can knock it down.
My 3 words have 2 meanings, but there's one thing on my mind. It's all for you.
It's dark and cold
December, but I got
you to keep me warm.
If you're broken, I will mend you and keep you sheltered from the storm that's raging on. I'm out of touch, I'm out of love. I'll pick you up when you're getting down. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. I'm out of sight, I'm out of mind. I'll do it all for you in time. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now.
I'm gonna paint you by numbers and color you in. If things go right, we can frame it and put you on a wall. And it's so hard to say it, but I've been it before. Now I'll surrender up my heart and swap it for yours.
I'm out of touch, I'm out of love. I'll pick you up when you're getting down. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. I'm out of sight, I'm out of mind. I'll do it all for you in time. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now.
Don't hold me down. I think my braces are breaking. And it's
more than I can take. Stuck in cold December, but I got you to keep me warm. If you're broken, I will mend you, and I'll keep you sheltered from the storm that's raging on. I'm out of touch, I'm out of love. I'll pick you up when you're getting down. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. I'm out of sight, I'm out of mind. I'll do it all for you in time. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now.
So that was Ed Sheeran's Lego House. This is D1. We're live at the UDSU Elections
guys,
Q&A.
This is our new song. We haven't performed it before. It's our first a cappella song, and it's Some Nights by Fun.
So it's back to the Glee Club.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore. Oh, 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 oh,
This is it, boys. This is war. What are we waiting for? Why don't we break the rules already?
I was never one to leave the hype. Say that for the black and white.
I tried twice as hard and I'm half as light, but here they come again, they jab my style.
That's alright. There's a murder in my bed tonight. Just stops my bones from wondering just who I am, who I am, who I am, oh who am I?
Well, some nights I wish that this all would end, 'cause I can use some friends for a change. And some nights I'm scared you'll forget me again. Some nights I always win, I always win. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know.
Oh, come on.
That is all. 5 minutes in and I'm bored again. 10 years of this, I'm not sure if anybody understands.
This one is not for the folks at home. Sorry to leave, mama had to go. Who the fuck wants to die alone or try to pin the desert sun?
My heart's breaking for my sister and the calm she called out. When I look into my nephew's eyes, man, you wouldn't believe most amazing things that can come from some terrible night.
The other night you wouldn't believe the dream I just had about you and me. I called you up and we both agreed.
That is the University of Derby's Glee Club. Hello, good.
Thank you so much, mind your head. Can we give it up to the Glee Club?
This is D1. We're live from the atrium here at Ked Road for the first Q&A of the 2013 UDSU elections.
Can I now please welcome to the stage candidates running for Student Union President?
So the candidates are running for Student Union President is Holly and Hayley Students United Wood. So the candidates on stage now are the candidates running for the Students Union President.
So firstly, you each have 1 minute to introduce yourselves and outline your pledges. I will start with Holly.
Hey everyone, I'm Holly and I'm standing to be your president. This past year, as Vice President Welfare and Student Rights, it has undoubtedly been the best year of my life. Through working with talented, passionate and committed students, I've become more political, more ready to lead and more capable of being the president that UDSU needs. All students deserve a chance to develop and the Students' Union has a duty of care to ensure that happens. As president, I will be visible, active and most importantly, I will be accountable to you all year round. I am the candidate in this election with a record of changing students' lives, a record of active campaigning and a record of bringing people into the Students' Union. And now I want to do all of that as your president. So don't be a Wally and vote for Holly, number 1, to be your president. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
And next up, Hayley.
Hi everyone, I'm Hayley. I'm a mature student here in my final year of a mechanical engineering degree. So that's already interesting. Basically, I'm running for your president because I believe in the Students' Union and I believe that all the students should be represented. I feel I'm approachable. I think I've had a lot of different experiences throughout my life that will help me to understand and empathise with every single student and be able to put your points forward. I'm pledged to hold regular drop-in sessions so people can come to me, find out anything about what we're doing within the Students' Union and also
30 seconds.
to explain what's happening and so they can bring any issues to us. I'd also like to continue encouraging the social aspect of your university life by supporting all the different groups and societies and encouraging the creativity that's here at Derby Uni and all the talent that we have.
Thank you, Hayley. The first question I will pose to you both is, with the Students' Union now being under national scrutiny through the National Student Survey, question 23, how would you work to ensure that satisfaction levels increase year upon year? Okay, you have 2 minutes. I'll repeat the question. With the Students' Union now being under national scrutiny through the National Student Survey, question 23, how would you work to ensure that satisfaction levels increase year upon year? You have 2 minutes, and I'll start off with Hayley.
Okay, I feel that we have historically had a bad score for that question because people don't really understand what the Students' Union is and what it's doing and what it's there for. To me, this is the point in drop-in sessions, this is the point in being open and honest and making sure every student understands what is happening on their behalf and how they can be involved and the importance of the National Student Survey itself and how that creates more employable students when they leave. So I'd like to explain all this and find out what the issues are within the student body with the Students' Union itself.
Okay, thank you, Hayley. And next, Holly, you have 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Just to start, I'm just going to explain to you what the NSS is. So the NSS is the National Student Survey, and question 23 was introduced into the NSS last year, and student unions are measured upon that. And it basically gives you five options to pick which one you want. And Derby didn't score very high on that last year. However, this year we've done an unprecedented amount of research, the biggest research project we've ever done as a students' union. the big conversation, the banner's just there. And with the results we get from that, we'll be able to implement them, put the changes you want into place, and that will improve the NSS scoring, because we want students to know what the student union does. The student union isn't just a bar, and the results from the big conversation will make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. The next one is more of a scenario, because our students' unions really love scenarios. So your scenario is, there has been a critical incident on campus which has resulted in some student casualties. You are then contacted by the national media for a story on this. How would you, in the capacity of president, respond to this? Okay, you have 2 minutes. So do you want me to go through the scenario again?
Yes, please.
Yeah. There has been a critical incident on campus which has resulted in some student casualties. You were contacted by the national media for a story on this. How would you respond to this in the role of president? You have 2 minutes, and I'll start with Holly.
Okay, so if there was a critical incident on campus and the press got in touch with me, I would ensure that whatever I said to the press wasn't too much. They don't need to know every single piece of information. However, the university have a very good press department, and I would call upon them for help. Also, I will work to ensure that the student union we aren't telling the press too much, because the press don't need to know everything, and I will work with the staff that have been in the place before and work with our director of commercial services and get them to help me out with an answer. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, Hayley.
I would speak with the whole team and the student union to ensure we all had a standard answer that we provided, and explain as briefly as possible what had happened and what we're going to do as a result, to reassure people that we are taking steps forward to make sure nothing like that would ever happen again.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, Hayley. That concludes the questions for candidates running for president. Can you please give them a round of applause, please?
So the candidates running for president...
That was good, that. I liked it. Good, lovely.
Was Holly and Hayley Students United Wood.
Vice President Welfare and Student Rights.
So I'm joined by Adam and Jack. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. No problem.
So coming up on stage now are the candidates for Vice President Welfare and Student Rights. This includes Laura Beresford, Leanne Students United Crooks, Dan the Right Choice Robertson.
He's got a lovely bandana on. Lovely bandana on.
This is candidates for VP Welfare and Student Rights.
This one's going to be interesting.
So firstly, you each have 1 minute to introduce yourselves and outline your pledges. We'll start off with Dan first.
Hi, my name's Dan Robertson and I'm running for the position of VP Welfare and Student Rights, because I feel with the right determination and communication, I can make a difference to the way things run in our students' union. There are opportunities here and at all the other campuses that needed to be acted upon, and I'm ready to tackle this head on. Some of the things that I will pledge to do is working close with the source, because that is a vital service that the student union offer, and it's not known enough. And also working with the student housing to work with the estate agents who work with our students here at Derby University, and try and implement a rating system so that our students feel safe and secure when they are renting properties with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Next, Laura.
Hi everybody, my name is Laura. I'm running for this position for Welfare and Student Rights Officer. I'm a third-year student at Markeaton Street studying graphic design. I pledge to integrate all the campuses. I believe that Markeaton Street needs more representation, and Britannia Mill, and all the students need to be brought together. I'd offer drop-in sessions at all the campuses, and you just come and see me. I'm friendly and approachable. And I also believe we should promote the source more, because it's a vital service and not enough people know about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura. And finally, Leanne.
Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm in my 4th year here. I'm second year part-time on Joint Honours Theatre Arts, Creative Writing and American Studies. I have studied at Britannia Mill, Ked Road, Markeaton Street and Derby Theatre, and I think that out of all of them, Kelson Road is definitely the best represented. In no means represented to the best of its abilities, but the other 3 campuses have hardly any representation, and I want to push for having a lot of representation down there as much as possible. Another big thing on my manifesto is awareness. There is not enough awareness for students of what they're entitled to, sport-wise, because I know I was entitled to a support plan from my first year here, and I didn't get it implemented until this academic year, which is my 4th year, and it's definitely something that could be massively improved if it could be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leanne. Within the role of Vice President Welfare and Student Rights, you will also oversee the liberation campaigns, such as black students, disabled students, and also LGBT students. With this in mind, with the term queer being used more freely to describe homosexuality, what is your understanding of the word, and why is it preferred by some to the word gay? Okay? So with the term queer being used more freely to describe homosexuality, what is your understanding of the word, and why is it preferred by some to the word gay? Okay? You have 2 minutes, and I will start with Laura.
Okay, and my understanding of the word queer is that it's been used for homosexuals. It's not a word that I'd actually use myself. I wasn't aware that it was actually increasing in its use. It's not something that I promote, to be honest. Obviously, there are different words to people that they use in LGBT, but everybody should be equal. So if people are happy to use that word, then fair enough, but it's not something I'll personally be using. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And next up, Dan.
Sorry. Yeah, so as an LGBT student myself, the word queer is chucked around there. People don't use it sometimes to mean insult to people. It's just one of them common words from decades ago. It's just been used and used and used, and so people don't really see the harm in using it. Yeah, it's a hard topic. Hang on, give me a minute. I've got this in my head. Yeah, I can't think. It's gone blank. Yeah, vote right choice.
Thank you, Dan. And then finally, Leanne.
Yeah, in my opinion and my experience, not everybody in the LGBT community fits into those specific boxes that the LGBT outlines. And most people may tell people that they're gay, but they might not identify purely as gay. And queer is definitely a looser term for it that they might prefer, that they might tell people, because gay is a very strict, it seems like a very strict box that people can put themselves in, and if it's not 100% true, then some people might prefer to use a separate word for it. So that is my personal opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. Your scenario question is, a student group is complaining that there is no childcare provision on site. What research would need to be undertaken to support this group of students? Okay, so a student group is complaining that there is no childcare provision on site. What research would need to be undertaken to support this group of students? You have 2 minutes, and I will start with Leanne.
Firstly, I would definitely point them in the direction of the Student Parent Society, because there is quite a good group of them, and they can definitely help out in short term. And there are quite a few policies that have gone through Union Council in the previous few Union Councils about childcare provisions, and I would definitely let them speak to the Union Council chair and about the childcare provision and a policy that they can be brought up. Research into space, time, money, something like that could cost in the university to implement, and put all of that and help them write a policy motion for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. And next up, Laura.
As welfare officer, I would run focus groups to find out what the need was, and then I would approach Student Parents Society, as Leanne said, to find out how great the need was, and then we'd take it then to Union Council to see if we can get something pushed through to organise it. We'd also speak to the university to see if there was any funding there, or any possibility of arranging something with the university. From then we'd see about launching a petition to get it in motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And finally, Dan.
So the student, if it's, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure. A student group is complaining that there is no childcare provision on site. What research would need to be undertaken to support this group of students?
Okay, first of all, I just want to say the recent poll that was taken, 32% of our students here at the university are student parents. So this scenario could be true because there are no child care services here at the moment for them. So what I would do is work closely with the newly elected part-time officer for them and the committee of the student parents to help them engage with the university and the Students' Union to put something together so that we can get something for them that they can use. They are as much important as any other student at this university, and they're not being helped to the full ability that the Student Union and the university can do for them. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. That concludes the questions for those candidates running for Vice President Welfare and Student Rights. Can we give them a round of applause, please?
So they were the candidates for VP Welfare and Student Rights, Laura Beresford, Leanne Students United Crook, and Dan the Right
Next,
Choice
can I welcome
Robertson.
the candidates running for Athletic Union President.
So the candidates are approaching the stage now, running for Athletic Union President. The candidate is Mark Farthing.
Only candidates.
So firstly, you have 1 minute to introduce yourself and outline your pledges. You have 1 minute.
Hi, my name is Mark Farthing and I'm running for Athletic Union President. I've been doing the job for a year and I can just tell you that the Athletic Union is amazing, Team Derby is amazing, University of Derby Students' Union is amazing, University of Derby is amazing, all the students at University of Derby is amazing, so please vote for me, Athletic Union President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. My question for you is, what next steps must be undertaken by the Athletic Union and University to ensure that Derby sits in the top 50 of sporting universities? You have 2 minutes.
Okay, so hopefully everyone's aware that as an athletic union we have a target to hit top 50 by 2015. Okay, so including this season, it gives us another 2 seasons after that to reach that target. We're currently sitting in 69th position, having come up from 95th 2 years ago. So we're well on our way to hitting that target. The university and the athletic union have been working together for the last 3 or 4 years on creating a strategy on how best for us to each year move a little bit further up the table. Okay, this year the strategy has been to focus on individual championships, and just this weekend just gone, we had, I think, 20 to 30 athletes competing in the individual championship in bucks, and we've also had athletes coming home with a bronze medal, a couple of gold and silver medals as well from a swimmer back in October. So overall the strategy's been working this year, and then next year the strategy should include extra teams which will increase participation and opportunities for students to get involved. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. And your scenario is, there has been a reduction in funding for sport at the university. What would be your main priorities? Now, what would your main priorities be in this instance? I'll repeat the question. There has been a reduction in funding for sport at the university. What would your main priorities be in this instance? You have 2 minutes.
Okay, so reduction in funding in sport would have a huge impact on the strategy, but what I would then say is, instead of looking to cut from sports, I'd say, how do we get together as an AU and increase sponsorships, fundraising activities, This year alone, I know we've had one team which has self-funded themselves for the whole season, including transport, and that comes up to about 1,500 per year. So if that was the case and funding was to be cut, I'd be encouraging teams to follow the example set by some of the teams who have easily funded not only this year but portions of next year as well. And I'd be looking to throw that out across the whole AU and getting students to come up with ideas to raise money for their own clubs.
Thank you, Mark. And that concludes the questions for candidates running for Athletic Union President. Can we give a round of applause, please? Next, can I introduce the candidates running for Vice President Academic Affairs?
So that was the candidate for the Athletic Union, Mark Farthing. The candidates now approaching the stage of the candidates for running for Vice President Academic Affairs. That's Matthew, Students United James, Freddie Cooney, Nath Owen and Mike Smith. You're listening to D1's live election here at Kedleston Road. This is the elections coverage of the Q&A.
Yeah, quite a lineup you got there.
There is quite a lineup.
Has 1 minute to introduce
so over to
yourselves
James
and outline your pledges. I will start off with Freddie.
Hi everyone, I'm Freddie Cooney and I'm in my third year studying geography with property development. Everyone has an equal right to a high standard of education and you have your say. The education zone here is vastly understaffed, under-resourced and undervalued. Every student in this room, on this campus and enrolled at Derby Uni has the right to change this. By voting for me, I will change the education zone for the better. By giving every student the opportunity of a personal
30 seconds.
Personal tutor to gather feedback and support throughout your course. As a current joint honours student, I'm keen to majorly improve the scheme by increasing the communications from different faculties. Are you ready for ready? Vote me #1 Academic Affairs.
Thank you, Freddie. And next up, Matthew.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. You have 1 minute to introduce yourself and outline your pledges.
Thanks, James. Hi, I'm Matthew James. I currently hold the position of Democracy Officer here within the Students' Union, and I'm asking you to support me to enable me to become the next VP of Academic Affairs. There are some big shoes to fill, but I believe that my passion for education and my desire for change put me in a position to fill these shoes. I think that each of my manifesto points are all as equally important, which if elected I will channel all of my energy and resources into ensuring I deliver these pledges. However, I feel that the point I make about putting research into the structuring of timetables since the 20 credit system has been implemented is very important. Having spoken to some students who have expressed concerns regarding how much contact time they currently receive for some modules, I feel it is necessary to find out what students generally feel and whether they are getting value for money, and does the timetable suit the students or does it suit the staff? Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. And next, Mike, please.
Hi there guys, I'm Mike Smith. I'm from Buxton and I'm a final year student. I'm running for VP Academic Affairs this year because I feel that the programme reps are severely disadvantaged in Buxton and that they don't feel like they're part of the Students' Union. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to try and bring Buxton and Derby back together. I think there's a lot of ideas in Buxton that could be used by Derby and vice versa, and so I'd like it to be standard across the all campuses.
30 seconds. Okay. Thank you, Mike. And finally, Nath. You have 1 minute.
Cheers. Hi guys, I'm Nathan. I'm a third year student studying journalism. I'm your current Marketing Street building representative. My first 2 years I was a programme rep for journalism as well, so I know the project that our current VP of Academic Affairs, Dom Anderson, has implemented. I know it quite well, I'd say. I think I know where it needs to improve and I know it needs to grow. I'd like to keep my pledges and my promises quite simple, in that I just think that the SU as a whole and generally this role needs more presence both at ground level and through social networking. So I would work my socks off for you guys to get a feedback system in there so you guys can tell us what you want and we know and we can get back it to you.
30 seconds.
Well. And generally work really closely with our reps in more areas as well, so that people are being more represented on many different levels through many different topics. Cheers.
Thank you, Nave. First question I'm going to pose to you guys is, with more students define themselves as customers within a HE market, so a higher education market, how would you ensure that the academic experience is the best it can be? So with more students define themselves as customers within a higher education market, how would you ensure that the academic experience is the best it can be? You have 2 minutes, and I'll start off with Matthew.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I was just trying to...
Yeah, sure. With more students defining themselves as customers within a higher education market, how would you ensure that the academic experience is the best it can be?
Well, firstly, like I mentioned earlier, I've spoken to some students who have expressed concerns regarding how much contact time that they're currently receiving for some modules. So if now, well, it's always been deemed that we are customers in academia, and that the university staff are service providers. So if they are service providers and we're consumers, I feel that it's important to make sure that we're getting value for money, and that the timetabling and resources and various other things that we need, that we're getting access to them adequately enough, and that so that we feel that we're getting value for money. It's not in the interests of the staff that timetabling should be done to suit them. It's got to be in the interests of students, making sure that we get the most of it and that we can make sure that we get the best from our education, especially the students who are paying the high rate fees. Well, regardless of what they're paying, we're still paying for an education, which we need to make sure that we're getting value for money from. If students feel that they're not getting that value for money, then something needs to be done about it, and that's why I pledged to do research into finding out what students feel that they're getting, if they're getting value for money, and finding out what, if anything, can be done to make sure that we get a better academic representation.
Thank you, Matthew. Can I remind all candidates to please speak into the microphones at all times? Next, can I have Mike, please?
Okay, well, first of all, I'd say that the HE students are important, of course, but so are the FE students as well, and we can't forget about them. I would say that at the moment there is a system in place for students to have their say and to make any complaints they've got about the resources that are available to them. However, I don't feel it's being used properly, and that's where the programme representatives can come in a lot better and can have a much bigger role within the Students' Union. The programme representatives are important to all of the students and are the students' voice. But if the students don't know that the programme representatives are there, then they can't use them. And so that's where this system needs more work.
Thank you, Mike. And next, Nath.
Hi guys. Well, I've always viewed myself as a customer, especially through uni and things like that, and I think it's vitally important that we continue to give the students the best possible resources and qualifications that they can and that we can offer as a university, particularly with the fees coming in, of course, this year. This year, applications dropped 10%, and next year they're getting up 3%, which is great, but it's still nowhere near enough. So we need to continue to build and continue to increase our reputation and increase, our qualification, the sort of level of qualifications that we give, and that does start at a grassroots level with the representatives from programs, and of course feeding up through the system. So like Mike said, the system does need to be strengthened. People do need to know that it's there. People do need to take note of it. And of course, if people started using this system, we would come on leaps and bounds so quick that I think it'd be scary to a lot of universities. That's where I think we need to continue to build on to get better as a university.
Thank you, Nath. And finally, Freddie.
I think the best, no I don't, I think the most important thing is listening to all the students out there. So I'd set up various different campuses around university, drop-in sessions with faculty representatives and programme representatives to make sure your voice is heard. I think all-round research into like just questionnaires. I know we don't like doing them, but we have to at some point. And general feedback, I think, would really help to get the best it can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. My scenario to you guys is the university no longer requires student representation on all of its academic committees. What would your stance be in relation to this? Okay, so the university no longer requires student representation on all of its academic committees. What would your stance be in relation to this? You have 2 minutes each, and I'll start off with Mike.
Okay, well, the university's main student body, or main body, is students. And at the end of the day, without students being here, there wouldn't be a university. So our voice is the most important, and our voice is the one that needs to be heard. And if the academic board have decided that they're not going to listen to our voices, then there's a big problem within the university.
Thank you, Mike. And next we have Nath.
I think it's a bit silly, really, because we are all students and things like that, and our qualifications that we get at the end of our 3 years are gonna, of course, you know, that's our career right there. These 3 years now are setting up our career, and to not have student representation on each of each of the academic sides of that, it's a little bit scary, really, because students should be at the centre of everything that this university aims to do, and if we're not being properly represented on there, then obviously something's going wrong. So that needs to change, I think.
Thank you, Nath. And next up, Freddie.
Well, quite frankly, I think it's a bit ridiculous. You're all here to have a voice, and that voice needs to be heard through student representatives, because of course we can't have you all in there, although I know you'd all love to be there. And I just think you need to give back the power to the students so that we can hear what they need and what they want, really. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Freddie. And finally, Matthew.
I think it is a bit of a silly scenario, really. As everyone said, we are students, and it's a student-orientated business as it's now become. So for not to have any student representation on the academic committees and such, it's a bit ludicrous. So if we wasn't to have them, if we wasn't to have student representation, how would the university be able to improve and get better and make more people want to come and study here, and better people's educations that are currently studying here? If we didn't have that representation, I'd make sure that there was campaigns and stuff, and do stuff to ensure that our voices were heard and that students were represented to the fullest. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. And that concludes questions for the candidates running for Vice President, Academic Affairs. Can we give them a round of applause, please?
So that concludes the question and answers for Vice President, Academic Affairs. Hello, good afternoon. It's 1:45. You're listening to D1, and you're also watching on D1. This is the Kedleston Road elections 2013 coverage.
To remain within the Q&A areas while the Q&As are going on, and please to refrain from campaigning. So can I please remind all candidates to remain in the Q&A areas and remain from campaigning during this time. Next, can I welcome to the stage candidates running for Raise and Give Officer.
So the candidates approaching the stage now are the candidates running for Raise and Give Officer. That's Rachel, the right choice, Hardiker and Beth J. This is the candidates for Raise and Give Officer. This is the 2013 Kedleston Road Q&A elections.
Okay, firstly, you will have 1 minute to introduce yourselves and outline your pledges. Okay, we will start off with Beth.
Oh, great, thanks. Hi, I'm Beth Jackson. I'm a first year student studying forensics with criminology, and I'm wanting to run as your RAG officer. I am currently the recruitment and representation for RAG. I'm also forensic and criminology faculty representative, as well as Sir Peter Hilton Hall representative, and I also attended demo. The reasons why I want to go for RAG officer
you have 30 seconds.
Sorry, is because I'm passionate about RAG, as I've already volunteered and working for them. I have experience in knowing the working hours that are needed to be put into the role to ensure that we maintain and improve the RAG reputation throughout the university. I've recently worked with the Cancer Campaign team to help RAG, as well as many other events.
Thank you, Beth. And next, Rachel.
Hello, I'm Rachel Hardiker and I'm a second year fashion studies student and I want to run to be your RAG officer for the next year. My pledges are to get RAG out there. As a Mark Eaton student myself, the amount of students I've spoke to at Mark Eaton that just simply go, what's RAG, what's Raise and Give, and that is not acceptable. Never mind Buxton, who don't have as much to do with it as even Ked Road. I've spoken to people at Ked Road themselves that still say, what is RAG? I want to get it out there. I know there is a Twitter account and a Facebook account at the moment. I want it to be used completely, and I want to make RAG more accessible so more people can feel the need to get involved, in theory, to raise more money for the best charities.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. And my question to you guys is, why is raising and giving so important in today's society? So why is raising and giving so important in today's society? I'll ask that question to Rachel first.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. Why is raising and giving so important in today's society?
Right. Well, I think it's important in today's society because even though a lot of students that are at this uni do come from good backgrounds, have a good stable family, there are people out there that don't have the benefits and the rights that we have. So it's our duty as people to stand up for other people that don't have the priorities and the voices given to us. We need to be their voices. So for me, Raise and Give is so important. Not even that, but there's people and soldiers out in Afghan, their families need the support. They don't have their partner there. They need the support from people that can give them the support. Make sure your vote is the right choice.
Thank you, Rachel. And the same question is to Beth.
We're already given so much, and sometimes people don't realise how much they have and that they're given. And I think the idea about RAG is that we understand as students that we can help and we have a voice that's able to be heard. And it's just a case of like going out there and showing that we can help change the world. Like even if it's one person at a time, just even us as students just doing a little bit of help and getting a voice out there for all the different charities, it can really help just push and make a bigger change. And as much as it's about helping the university and getting RAG out there, it's a bigger picture in the long run.
Thank you, Beth. That concludes the questions for candidates running for Raise and Give officer. Can we have a round of applause, please? Can I next welcome to the stage candidates running for Vice President Student Development.
Right, so the candidates now approaching the stage are the candidates running for Vice President Student Development. The candidates are Sam Alban, Noel Alexander, Sam Development Ansdell, Katie, Emily Graves, and Sophie the Rice Choice Hewitt. This is the candidates at the moment for Vice President Student Development. You're listening and watching the Ked Road question and answer sessions here on D1.
Okay, firstly, you have 1 minute to introduce yourselves and outline your pledges. I will start off with Katie.
Okay, hi, so my name's Katie. I'm a third year interactive media production student and I'm running for the role of VP Student Development. Now, it is arguably one of the most important roles when it comes to societies, and being a society member for my entire time, it's something that I feel very close to my heart. Also, because I am a media student, I don't concentrate on the more traditional senses of media.
30 seconds.
So I feel that I can bring to all of the areas a different outlook on everything that the university does. I want to raise the profiles of everybody involved and just get everything more integrated with everybody else. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Katie. I'll hand over now to Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm D1 Head of Marketing and Promotions at the moment. I'm just a contributor and I'm student rep for professional writing. This is your student union and I want to represent you, every single one of you. And I feel the development zone is all about your self-development within the union, whether that's through societies, student media, or volunteering and placements. And all I pledge to you is that I will make every single one of you feel supported and feel like you can approach me about anything, whether you're part of society, part of the media, or none of that at all. I want to take on board anything you have to say, and I want to do my best to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And next, can we have Noel, please?
Hi guys, I'm Noel Alexander and I'm in my third year studying film. Throughout my 3 years at university, I've gained a wide range of experience that I can bring to the role of VP Development. This includes media experience on my course. I wrote several articles for the students' magazine Dusted. I'm also a presenter on D1 radio station and a member of RAG. On top of the voluntary roles, I've also been employed by the Students' Union for 3 years, which have included promotions, events, the Students' Union bar, and mainly I've been working on the Students' Union reception. Here I've been a main point of contact and I've learnt a lot about the union, including societies, the source and all other areas. Because of my vast knowledge and experience on a voluntary and employed basis, I feel that I've got the most experience, and I think that you should vote Noel #1 Vice President of Student Development. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noel. And next can I have Sam Alban, please.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. My name's Sam Alban. I'm running for VP of Student Development. I've been here now for 4 years, and every year I've been getting more and more involved within the union. What this role is to me is it's about approachability, and it's about accreditation, and it's about accessibility. You know, let's get this role, let's get the zone more approachable. Let's get out there and engage with students that we don't usually engage with. Let's go out there and let's get the volunteers with the societies, with the clubs, with RAG and with D1 and Dusted, and get them
30 seconds.
Officially accredited for what it is they do and their dedication. Let's get the services that we offer more accessible. Let's get out there and get the zone noticed. Let's get the opportunities that we offer better advertised and get more people involved. Approachability, accreditation, accessibility, Alban. I'm Sam Alban, running for VP of Student Development.
Thank you, Sam. And next can I have Sam Ansdell, please.
Hi. Hi, I'm Sam Ansdell. I'm a second-year law student standing to be your Vice President, Student Development. I'm the only candidate who is an active member of the entire development zone, with experience in societies, media, volunteering and RAG. I'm extremely hard-working and dedicated to my Students' Union, recognised when I won Student Unionist of the Year 2012. This year, I'm Vice President of the Law Society, the biggest society in the Students' Union. I'm also the News and Politics Sub-Editor of Dusted, which gives me a comprehensive understanding of how the magazine works and how it needs to be improved. I'm also your RAG part-time officer, tasked with organising the whole fundraising week from the 11th to the 15th of March. Finally, through my role of being a committee member of a sports team, I understand how sports teams and societies differ, and I know how we can bridge the gap. I'm the only candidate with enough experience already dedicating my time to all areas of the development zone, and will continue to do this if you vote me, Sam Ansdell, #1 to be your Student Development. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. And finally, Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm a third-year sport and exercise student. I've been active in the Students' Union since my first year when I joined the society. In my second year, I joined a sports team. In my third year, I became a committee member and a part-time officer of the Students' Union. As well as volunteering throughout my time at university, which all sports need to survive, I've been active in developing Dusted articles with friends and sports members, and I've also been on D1 radio station, which was a lot of fun, but I can see ways that can be improved. Yeah, vote. Right choice. That'll do.
Thank you, Sophie. My first question is, We know that our societies and development committees are a key reason why students remain at university. Why do you think this is the case, and how can we better support these students? Okay, so we know that our societies and development committees are a key reason why students remain at university. Why do you think this is the case, and how can we better support these students? You have 2 minutes, and we'll start with Sam Alban.
Hi everyone, I'm Sam Alban, running for VP of Student Development. I've actually been president now of my society for 3 years, and I've been trying, to get involved in Dusted and various other areas of the development zone as well. And really, it's about engaging with people, because so many people come up to me with the society that I run and say that they had a terrible time in their first year at university. They didn't enjoy their bits that were going on with their course. They were having trouble with living away from home and everything. And it was meeting people of a similar interest in our society or any of the other societies that I was involved in that actually kept them here at university. It's about giving people. It's about improving their experience here and improving their time here. I mean, with the societies, there's so many different interests there that you can get involved in. And with D1 and with Dusted and even with RAG, the people that are involved in there have such a great passion, and it's really the passion in people that keeps you here, and it's certainly what kept me here. So it's about going out and engaging with more people, making the services, making the societies, making media, and making RAG more accessible to people and getting more people involved, getting more people passionate about what it is that we do. I'm Sam Alban, running for VP of Student Development.
30 seconds. Thank you, Sam. Next, it goes out to Sophie. Okay?
Could you repeat the question
Yeah,
again?
I'll repeat the question. We know that our societies and development committees are a key reason why students remain at university. Why do you think this is the case, and how can we better support these students?
Okay, well,
you have 2 minutes.
Okay. In my first year when I joined society, meeting those friends was key for me to enjoy my time there. I met a girl in halls, and she was one of the first people I spoke to when I got there, and she invited me along. And when I joined the society, I made so many more friends, and it made my time so much more enjoyable. To support these students, we need to make sure all first years are getting the understanding that there are societies out there for them to join, so they can meet friends and meet people to support their time at uni. In the first year of uni is normally your most lonely experience because you're away from home, probably for the first time, and meeting these friends that are often for life can be the change to your degree. Thanks.
Thank you, Sophie. Next is to Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. Societies bring about everything that university should be. You can go along, you can learn things, learn new skills, you can meet friends, you can do things with friends, you can go out to the pub for a drink, you can go and do a sport, go bowling, everything with people who you know believe the same things and enjoy the same things that you do. I've been an active society member for my entire time at the university, and I can safely say some of the best friends I have made at this university and some of the best times I have had have been in the society. Times when maybe I wasn't so happy at university, when I was homesick, when I'd fallen out with other people. I knew that the society was somewhere where I could meet people who would support me no matter what was going on because I enjoyed things they enjoyed. One of the biggest problems with societies is that they just feel they don't get the same level of support. And I think one thing that could really be improved, not just for the improvement of getting more people, more students to know about societies, is freshers and refreshers fair. If you go to the society stands, they're so clustered together, you can't see everything that's on offer. And something that I would definitely do is make sure that there is a better situation when you go to refreshers and freshers fair for society, so more students can see them, more students can get involved, and more students can find a society that really speaks to them and what they want to do.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Next, Sam Ansdell.
Well, this is currently something that the development zone is actually looking into, with looking at the retention of societies, whether that's A, staying within university, or B, going on to do further things with university. One of the big changes of the development zone, passed at Union Council in November, is the Societies Federation. This will mean that this role will be split in two come to 2014. This is huge change for the development zone, and such positive, great change that I'm an absolute advocate for. But whilst we're in the meantime of having such a great Societies Federation, there should be some more greater support for societies, with buddy schemes, with road shows, one-to-one society meetings and society improvement plans. Full availability of all information of societies is a big problem and something to definitely look for, so that people can communicate between societies easier, but also join up from them. Another thing is if societies feel greater supporters, such as academic societies. There are many academic societies that provide great services for students, not necessarily just on that just on that degree, but for other students as well. And there's so many academic societies that don't have support from their faculties, and it's about looking to get agreements with those faculties to prove the benefits of those academic societies, and therefore greater support for those societies, and ultimately making benefits for the student experience. So vote number 1, Sam Ansdale, Student Development. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. And next, Emily.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yep, sure. We know that our societies and development committees are a key reason why students remain at university. Why do you think this is the case, and how can we better support these students?
Personally, the reason I am sat here right here is through the development zone. Before I joined D1, I wouldn't think in 1,000 years I'd be right here talking to you guys. So I know how important this is, and how much students want to develop through the union, because I definitely did, and I know it can work because that's what happened to me. I think societies need better support. I think that when it comes to events and things, societies don't really know how to go about doing a RAG event. They feel like they need some more support. I know I definitely did. And I think that is something we need to implement, and therefore it might encourage other people to join societies because they come to these events, they enjoy them, and that will help their development, and so it goes on. I think that if we liaise more with our sports teams, then maybe more people will be encouraged to join societies, because I think there's a bit of divide at the moment, which needs to be lifted. And I think we just need better representation of societies across all campuses. Like, I think Buxton and a lot of the other campuses are very, very underrepresented in our student media, and I think that needs to change. So I think just better meetings need to be done. More people need to know what everyone's doing, so people can fit into everyone's plans, and it could be more of a joint development zone thing rather than individual.
30 seconds.
More than individual parts of the zone working separately. Thank you.